Welcome back to our channel. We have a bunch of 1984 pennies. We have the San Francisco Mint, we have the Philadelphia Mint, and we have the Denver Mint, and of course the Denver Mint. You can see one of them right up here has the D, and we'll go through that Philadelphia Mint with no mint marks. You see a few of them. Here's another Denver, here's another Philly, and then up here we see the really shiny one. We get almost always tell that's going to be a San Francisco Mint coin, but the one we really want to focus on is this one right here in the middle. One of the things that happens sometimes with US coins is you want the shiny one, or you want the red one, or you want the one that looks best, and you ignore some of the other coins. And this is a 1984 Philadelphia penny. I guess you could call it brown. It has an incredible amount of toning on it, just a really beautiful coin in terms of the coloring, and the trick is for 1984. You might get a coin that looks like this that's worth $3 to $500. Why would it be worth $3 to $500 looking like this? Well, it's because in 1984 they had what they call the double die obverse. And let me show you on the PCGS website what you need to look at to find the double die obverse. So here it is, the double die obverse on the Philadelphia, and right up, see where the hand is right there, see that little line underneath the ear, so that's a double ear. So the ear's up here, and then there's some doubling here. You can also see a little tiny bit of doubling here on the chin, and then down here on the bow tie you'll see a little bit of doubling. You can see this part, you can see with a naked eye. This part's a little harder to see, you have to get the light right, but this is straight from the PCGS website. This is a double die obverse brown, so don't throw out the browns just because it's not shiny and red. This is still worth a few hundred too. $350 for a double die obverse brown. So what we'd be looking at is the ear up here, the chin, and the bow tie. We've got it magnified quite a bit. I'm not seeing any second ear up there. You're not seeing that extra line. I'm not seeing anything special with the chin. And the bow tie looks pretty good, but it's not anything special. Of course, this is a Lincoln penny. It changed in 1982 to a zinc-covered penny. This one here is one of the zinc ones. It has Lincoln on the front, and God we trust above him, liberty behind him. Under his chin we see the date, and then way down here we see the engraver's initials, the VDB, which has been on there since 1909. Well, kind of on there since 1909. It was on the back, then they moved it to the front. On the back of this coin says United States of America, America Urbis Sunim. Here this is the Lincoln Memorial Annual. Notice on this one the back is much worse than the front. Was 1 cent at the bottom end. Over here the initials of the engraver of the back, it's Frank Gasparo. This coin is going to be worth about 1 penny, but we keep it just cause we love the coloring on it. So let's take a look at some of the other coins. And I should say in 1984 in Philadelphia they made 8.5 billion. Some of the numbers reported 8.5, some report 8.2. Let's just say they made over 8 billion of these coins at Philadelphia, so there's plenty of them out there to look through, and you'll probably get plenty. And it was also a double die obverse at the Denver Mint. It's one of those years where you can look for both. This one does not have a double die over that we can see, and it's really bad shape, but this has what this has is this kind of cool D. See how the D on here kind of gets slanted and goes, in this direction, like it goes from here up at a slant, and that's really interesting. Once in a while you get one of these, so you get one of these. Keep it to not big value, but some people might like this kind of slanted D on there. Let's look at another D from 1984, and you see this one is a straight up and down D. So let's see if we can show you the difference. See how this D goes kind of leans to the right, and this one here, if we put it there, goes kind of straight up and down. So once in a while you get a D like this, or a S like this, or even a P like this on other coins. And those are coins that why not save them out, because it's kind of fun. At a Denver Mint in 1984 they made 5.6 billion, so about 14 billion between the two. So there's plenty of these out there, and feel free to look at it. Look for that extra line in the ear and in the chin. Even at this rate it's probably going to be worth $40 to $50, but if you can get a Denver Mint one and it's red, it's worth about $600, and if it's brown, it's worth about $225 if you want to look at a shiny one. Here's a shiny one here, so this coin is probably worth a few dollars, but you'll see it doesn't have the double die, so this is the Philadelphia Mint from an uncirculated mint. Set back before they started doing the satin finish on them. This one you really can see, but you'll see that there isn't really any doubling the chin, the bow tie. Sometimes when you look at the bow tie, it looks like there's a little bit of doubling, but this is actually how the bow tie is tied. If you get the doubling, you get double lines on the outside, sometimes on the inside, but this is not yet. And finally, the San Francisco Mint coin, and this is a shiny one, and this one is not going to have the double die OBE on it. They didn't have any of those issues as far as I know with San Francisco 1984, but they did make 3 million of these coins, and they're just beautiful coins, not the greatest detail there. As well as always, let's just hop into this one. All right, starting off first with a 1984 D-Mint mark that sold for over $820. This coin sold for that price all because of its condition. Now, this doesn't have any types of mint errors, which we're going to look at here in 1 second. So all the value for this penny is in the condition. The grade itself, it's graded by PCGS at a mint state 68 red, so the coin gradient scale goes up to 70. 70 is the best condition you can get. This is at a 68. There's probably not many of them out there graded at a 68, but there could be thousands of them graded out of 66 or 67, and those will not be worth nearly as much as something that is a that only has a few coins at a certain grade. So if there's only one of these graded at a 68 or 5 of them graded at a 68, then that's where the value comes in at, because there's going to be a demand for that top grade 820 for that coin. Now, here's a pretty extreme type of mint error on the 1984 penny. So this coin has been double struck, with that second strike being 85. Off-center, graded by PCGS as well, and this coin sold for over 140. Moving right along to another double strike. This is graded by NGC at a men's state 60 to red-brown, so you'll notice these pennies will either have a red grade, a red-brown grade, or a brown grade. It's pretty obvious to distinguish those. Red's gonna be very new-looking penny, red-brown's going to be in between a brown-looking penny and a red penny, right? So this coin ended up selling for around $150, and you'll see that it is flipped over, so you'll see the obverse is double struck here on the reverse of this coin. Now, here's a 1984 double die obverse, so here's what you want to look for on your 1984 Lincoln Cents. Now, this does have a very high grade of a med state 68 red, so a lot of its value is coming from that as well. So here's what you want to look for. You want to look for a doubling there on the ear. That is a very nice double die on this coin. A lot of people get these confused with a no coins that aren't doubled ears. It may look like it's a little doubled, but this is the actual example of a doubled ear. Now, also on the 1984, we can look for doubling on the lettering as well, so you want to look for that on the phrasing "God We Trust" as well as the date 1984 itself. So look for that with your coin microscopes. I have those available right now on World Coins History PK. They sell out quick, so if you want one, feel free to get one on the website World Coins History. No, this coin ended up selling for over $2,800 because of that doubled ear and because of its condition, that high grade of a men's state 68. Now, if we look at another example, this coin here also has the double ear. However, it's graded at an 055, so a lot lower grade in comparison to the Met State 68. This coin only sold for around 75, so you go from 800 to 75. Big difference of value. We'll look at a couple other different values here. This coin here is graded by PCGS at a Mint State 65 red. Brown, it also has that doubling on the front of the coin, but this coin sold for around $240. Now, this isn't the double deer, this is the doubled lettering and the date now here is the double deer once again. Now this is graded at a mint state 67 plus red, so very good grade again, sold for $750. Still not the $2,800 that the 68 had, but hey, it's all based on condition on all coins when it comes down to it at the end of the day, but that is definitely something you want to look for. Even if it's a circulated penny, it's still going to be a very awesome find that doubling either on the lettering or on the ear. Now here is a 1984 Lincoln cent that is a die break, also referred to as a cud. We'll see that there on the rim of the coin, covering up of the phrasing "God we trust you can." Look for these on all kinds of different coins and other dated pennies as well. Some cuts will be much larger than this, some can be even smaller. You'll see on the reverse it's faded out on the opposite side, going through the lettering there 1 cent. And this coin sold for a little over $90, so not too bad, but let's move on here to another reverse die break, a much larger cut. So this is on the 1984 no mint mark, graded by NGC at a mint state 60 for red brown, so taking up a large portion of the coin there. This coin sold for over $175, moving right along to a 1984. That is a couple different types of errors here. The coin has been struck off center and it has triple curved clips, a very obvious type of mint error. You don't need a microscope to look for anything like this. This coin ended up selling for over $155, and then here's another obvious type of mint error. These two coins sold together for over $350. They've been struck off center and graded by PCGS at mint state 63 red brown for both coins, so $350 for those two. Now here's a 1984 no mint mark that has a very high grade of a mint state 68 red, so there must be a lot of these graded at a mint state 68 red for the no mint mark, because the coin only sold for around $90, and that's a very good grade. So yeah, some coins a 68 can make the coin very, very valuable. In some cases, not so valuable, all because of grade. Population, how many of these coins exist at this grade? Now here's a 1984 that has been struck 75 off center, graded by PCGS as well, and this coin sold for over $165. Now here's a very awesome type of mint error, one of my favorite types of mint errors. double denomination, it's the 1980 for Lincoln cent that was struck onto a 10 cent coin, so a Roosevelt dime. You'll see both the Roosevelt dime design and the Lincoln cent design, and that's why this coin sold for over $1,100, over $1,000 coin there. Now this coin here sold for over $1,700, nearly a $2,000 coin here, and that is because it is the 1980 for S mint mark Lincoln cent design, so it was supposed to be the proof 1984 penny that was struck onto a 10 cent planchette, so the dime design wasn't struck onto the planchette like the previous coin. This was actually a blank 10 cent planchette that the Lincoln cent design was struck onto, and like I said, this coin sold for $1,700. Now this coin here is a 1984 1 cent Lincoln cent that was overstruck onto a 1984 10 cent Roosevelt dime, so again another double denomination. The coin that we looked at a couple of coins ago, we have the reverse of the Roosevelt dime with the obverse of the Lincoln cent, so it's kind of opposite here. We have the obverse of the Roosevelt dime along with the obverse of the Lincoln cent, and then you'll also see the reverse of the Roosevelt dime with the reverse of the Lincoln cent. This coin sold for nearly $300, so over a $3,000 coin. Now this next coin here has some partial plating. It's the 1980 for no-mint mark Lincoln penny, and this coin is graded by PCGS at a mint state 60 for red brown. This coin ended up selling for over $165. Here's another example of partial plating on the 1984 penny. This coin ended up selling for over $215. So it all depends on the condition, the type of error, the date in which the error is on. Things like that will all affect the value of these coins. Now here's just a 1984 S mint mark. You'll find these in proof sets. It doesn't mean that yours is going to grade at a proof 70. just because it's in a set, but this coin did grade at a perfect grade. A proof 70 red deep cameo can't get any higher than 70. On the grading scale, this coin sold for over $160. Thanks for watching my videos, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon.